Hi folks, Cesar here, Vice Mayor Herndon, coming to you from a beautiful July morning, 2021. I wanted to talk to you about a few things that are coming up on our strategic planning session in a few weeks. Love to get your input. We're going to be talking about transparency, housing allowance, some issues for PBAC, and gun safety. So really want your folks' input on some of these things. So regarding transparency, just to give you an example of the process, without getting into details. Council is meeting, we call for an executive session, staff presents to us, we have 30 minutes to decide on something that quite frankly is going to impact the public. I think these discussions should be recorded, audio, video, and then when appropriate, be released to the public. So you know what was discussed, who said what was presented, and really the method of the decision making and really some of the opinions from fellow council members. Right now, none of those discussions are recorded, audio, video, or archived. So I think everyone would agree it's important to have those matters. Not talking about personnel related, I'm talking about things that impact the community. So love to get your input on that going forward. We're going to be discussing that as well at our next strategic initiative. Housing allowance. This is becoming more and more of a matter that's being discussed in our area. We don't really have a lot of options for affordable housing, workforce housing. We're basically dealing with what was passed to us over the last few decades. This council is certainly making it a priority to address this in some way. So one of the things that I've come up with, and I believe has a majority of support of the council, is to provide an allowance for teachers, police, first responders, and anyone that lives in town that works on staff. Love to get your input on that. I think it personally goes to building a community for the future. I'm not talking about convincing people to move into town that may live in other parts of the county or different states. Talking about going forward, we invest in individuals that see this of value. So love to get your input on that. I'm going to be pushing for an allowance for first responders, teachers, and staff members that live in town. The Pedestrian Bicycle Advisory Committee, the PBAC, I've sent to them, I've requested that they start looking at some of the safety issues regarding cyclists, pedestrians in the town. With Metro coming, a lot more people, a lot more traffic coming into town, we need to be proactive on this. I cycle all through town. There isn't a time where there isn't a close call, either by cars or cyclists. We need to get serious about this. One of the things I'm going to ask for is funding for actually shareds marking the roads where cyclists are to be. I think that's an initiative we can all agree on. Love to get your input on that or some ideas that you have, how we can help sort of address the crowding that's going to be happening on the streets in the years to come. And the final thing, we've sent to a public hearing the gun safety ordinance. This is what the General Assembly has passed, what Fairfax County has passed, and what we want to pass. And I want to be clear about this. It's about not having guns in council chambers, in office buildings or parks. No one is coming to take your gun from you. Let me say it again. This ordinance is a safety ordinance for staff, for council members in town buildings, in parks. No one is coming to take your gun. If you read the ordinance and you think that's the case, let me know. Come have a discussion. No one is coming to take your gun. Want to be clear, this is about an ordinance for safety. We don't need guns in the dais, in council chambers, in office buildings of the town, or in parks. Folks, love to get your ideas. I love to get your input. Always open to hearing what the issues are out there. This is what's going to be discussed at our next strategic planning session in a few weeks. If we need to discuss more at the work section, please let me know. Appreciate your time, appreciate you seeing this video. Look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks again.